This is the Automotive Repair Podcast Network.
Welcome to another episode of Speak Up Effective Communication, the show on the Automotive Repair Podcast Network focused on elevating our communication and our leadership skills. I'm your host, Craig O'Neill, and in our episode today, this is a milestone episode, episode 100. And I've been looking forward to this one quite some time ago. I had the distinct privilege of being a guest on another podcast that was hitting episode 100, a podcast led by two of my friends in this industry, Lucas Underwood and David Roman from the Changing the Industry podcast. Perhaps you've heard of them. Wonderful people, good friends, doing good things in the industry. I was episode 100 guest for them. They're going to be the episode 100 guest for me. And that also leads me into the word of the day. The word of the day is reciprocity. We'll define that word for you, introduce our guests, and have a great conversation after we hear a word from our sponsors who help me get to episode 100. Hey friends, as you know, I'm a proud member of the AutoFlow team, and let me tell you, we've changed how business is done for auto shops everywhere. We support your client experience before, during, and after the work is done. Imagine this. Timely updates sent directly to your clients, branded digital vehicle inspections, and seamless communication from start to finish. That's why shops love AutoFlow. And hey, with those 5-star reviews rolling in, you'll wonder how you ever managed without us. Take an important next step and take your auto shop to the next level. Visit www.autoflow.com. Get on board with an AutoFlow trial. Want to see your auto repair shop thrive? Are you looking to drive more customers to your auto repair shop? Let ShopDog Marketing be your guide. Our customer-first approach, combined with AI-driven creative content, ensures top rankings. Dominate mobile first and voice search with our specialized expertise. Reach out to ShopDog Marketing today and start growing your business. Don't miss out on this chance to boost your business. Visit shopdogmarketing.com. Inbound has exclusively served independent auto repair shops with expert communication solutions for years. Our robust VoIP platform ensures you stay connected while our industry-leading AI analytics take your business to the next level. We provide the tools you need to understand your customers and optimize every interaction. Choose Inbound for proven expertise and unmatched innovation. Visit callinbound.com and discover the difference we can make. What if you knew exactly what to say to the price shopper, the upset customer, the person who says they cannot afford it? Every day, service advisors lose customers not because of bad service, but because of the wrong words at the wrong moment. Words That Work is a free phone scripts playbook built for auto service professionals. Every script includes the reasoning behind it, so you understand not just what to say, but why it works. Grab your free copy at serviceadvisortraining.com. Hey, we're back, and with me is a couple of my favorite guys. I don't know if I can call you my favorite. We don't talk enough to call you my favorite, but we're talking now.
We are.
We are. It is not at an industry event. We're actually at our studios, respectively. And why we're doing this today is the word of the day, reciprocity, is because I had the distinct privilege of being your guest on episode 100 for your podcast.
Yes, you did. You did.
And that was before I even had a podcast.
Yep. Wouldn't have had it any other way. Would not have had it any other way.
It was such a cool thing. And people kept pinging me on that. But I was still in social media back in those days too. And it was kind of like another 15-minute of fame type thing. You guys have made a great mark on the industry.
Thank you, sir.
So, dude, I started podcasting then. And I was invited to do this on Carm's Network, a dear friend of yours as well. And I never imagined having the potential even to reciprocate.
We're honored.
Yes, dude, this is so cool. I've been looking forward to this for like a year. About that point where I was like, I might make it to episode 100.
That's it. This might actually do something. Come on now.
Exactly. But hey, guys, look, first and foremost, I got a bunch of questions for you. But as you know, I kind of left social media. I did an Irish goodbye on social media. A lot of people are like, dude, are you not my
we
friend anymore?
noticed.
Yeah, it's not that you're not my friends. It's that I deleted my
David
Facebook
did
account.
not feel like that was accurate. David feels like maybe you aren't his friend anymore, you know?
I'm really off social media, David. It's not just you.
You did it all wrong, though. You should have just don't use it. Like,
Yeah.
leave it open. So, like,
know.
I open up the app and I've got 800 messages from randos, and I have it from 3 months ago. It's because I don't open the app. So, like, sorry.
Well, that actually is how I began. And I think I did it about like 3 months straight where I just wasn't on there. And it's like, I'm doing it. I'm hitting it. I did the button.
Yeah.
I have some regrets with that. Just a few. One of them is that I don't know what the heck's going on with half the people I know anymore until I see them at a conference. So, guys, what am I missing right now?
Oh man, you're missing not a lot.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, just complete and total drama.
Always been.
It's the same BS. It's just a different day, different people asking the same questions. It's like, hey, we already covered this. You did? It's like, yeah.
You know, I think that big things are happening. I think the Auto Care Association is doing really cool stuff for the industry right now. I think they're making big moves and they're making some really cool things happen. They've got like a new industry resource area. So that's been cool. We've seen that come out. But, you know, social media is still social media. I will tell you this. I think that people are more on edge than they had been. And rage bait seems to be all the rage. So, you know, you just say something negative and terrible and it takes off. So,
yeah, social media has devolved into rage baiting people while they're sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, see, I was there during the COVID years. It was kind of like
so much worse now.
It's gone down.
So much worse.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so much worse now.
It's nosedive.
Maybe you guys should
Those are
join
the
me.
good
in,
old
like,
days.
Like, dude, there's obvious benefits to being on there. Obviously, you guys have a wonderful following there and a lot of engagement. And to turn away from that would probably be borderline stupid.
We've done stupid things, but okay, we do a lot of stupid things.
You see, Craig, is what you do is you get a co-host, and the co-host is addicted to the engagement. Like it's what causes the dopamine hit, and he just craves it. And you don't have to do anything, so you can just jump in, say the meanest, most off the wall thing, and then just dip out.
And nobody even notices he was even there.
And like build a brand around this.
Yeah. Leave him to deal with the wreckage.
Yeah, nobody told me that. Becoming best friends with David Roman was literally cleaning up the wreckage after David got done.
But that's part of it. Really is a part of the brand.
Yeah,
for you guys, that's what I've noticed. Is like there's a dynamic that's there. That's really people just when they're listening to you, they feel like they're in on this dynamic and they're a part of this conversation that's actively going. And then they engage with you in the social media space and it kind of closes that loop there. Like they can have David say mean things to them actually right there in the there.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
and it is rewarding for them. Okay. It's like those restaurants where the waitress is very mean to you.
I will say that is true for some people. It's like our active listeners. Yeah, like they'll say something and then I'll be mean to them and they'll be like, I got him to say something mean. And I like that. That's very funny because they kind of get it. But you would not believe we have like 14,000 members in the Facebook group now.
Yeah, it's huge.
And like part of the sign up process is, hey, make sure that you subscribe and listen to the podcast or watch us on YouTube. So you kind of get the shtick, right? Mm-hmm. They don't. They just say they will. And then they never do. Maybe they don't watch YouTube. Yeah. So they don't watch YouTube and they don't listen to podcasts. Okay, great. You're just on TikTok and you just filter through 30-second reels.
Yes.
Fine. That's what they do. Now Lucas is building a whole thing on there. Good for him. It's toilet content is what I say. Is this what they watch while they're sitting on the toilet?
That's the only break they got.
That's it. That's it.
So that's all they engage with. So like Lucas has made a very concerted effort to make sure that we're putting out those 30-second rage baity reels that they can engage with so they kind of get the shtick. But you don't get the full sense of what we do if you don't sit there and at least like watch some of the podcast on YouTube at the very least. You kind of get the banter back and forth. You kind of get how we engage with it. And so these people will get on the Facebook group. They don't know who we are. They just see that it's related to the automotive industry. And then I get on there and I say off the wall stuff to them because I don't know them. I don't care what they think. So
Wait, what's the name of your shop?
Done with auto repair.
I'm done with it. So I say mean stuff to them and they get so offended. They get really upset, which is unfortunate. And I'll like, who do you think you're talking to here? Like, what do you expect me to say to you? And then I have to say, you don't listen to the podcast, do you? I didn't know there was a podcast. It's like,
no, really?
It's in the Facebook group name.
Craig, I don't know if you know this, but so Facebook has recognized a large number of people have exited the platform.
Yes.
Okay. And as a result, they have developed a forums app. So you can be part of the group without being on social media. And it's just like an old message board. Okay. So maybe you should just join the forums aspect and just engage in the group that way. I'm just saying.
No, it's way too toxic for you. You
all right. So you said, but there's a couple of things going on here because, what I find is like, I'm just like anybody else. I'm addicted to the tea, as my teenagers would say.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And like, that's why I left it and stopped, is because I felt myself just constantly being pulled to this instead of where I was in the moment, in the presence, because and the symptoms of it are something that you're trying to address. I feel like this is true. Tell me if you agree with this. Like, you're doing a lot more of the short form videos in that media because you recognize the attention span is completely collapsing for long form learning.
For sure. And look, I'm going to tell you something else about that. That's two-sided, right? Yeah. Because I actually watched a documentary this morning. It was a little short form documentary, and it was talking about this man who was a content creator, and he completely lost himself and ended up losing his mind by trying to create content that people engaged with, and ended up in a spot where he believed the things he was saying and the things he was putting out that all started as kind of like a shtick, and got himself into a spot mentally where he was not in a good place. And it's the same thing. We've recognized how this content catches you. And so all these content creators are creating content that catches you, and it's not feeding you. Right. And I think that's a concern that we all have. And there was a great discussion. Braxton, Jeff,
it's a concern that you have because you're thinking about it. These people don't think about it at all.
Well, that's the problem.
Just want the dopamine hit.
That's
like,
the problem. And so,
and here's the thing: like, I love to get on and just laugh because my entire algorithm is the most absurd, like jokey stuff.
It is. It's terrible. It's terrible.
And then I find it funny, and I just sit there and chuckle, and then I send it to Lucas, and then he doesn't reply. And so it's just
then he gets offended. Needs me mean messages. This is like my daily life.
It's all jokey stuff. It's just like comedic stuff over and over and over again.
Interesting.
But for a lot of people, it's not that. It's just, it's like rage bait. Political content or rage bait,
and they get upset and they begin to act out based on how it makes them feel.
It becomes their whole world.
There was this video, right? And it's an episode that Tanika, Jeff, Brian, and Braxton did at Tools in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And we've been having this huge debate. David's not really active in all the message threads we have, but we've been having this huge debate about rage bait. And I've been saying, like, hey, I've got a problem with this because we make a little bit of ragey stuff. I don't go that hard on my stuff where it's super ragey.
Yeah, the sensational
exactly
topics, right?
But some of the stuff that's
not out of context,
right? Some of it's been coming out for Jaded has been a little bit on that side. And Braxton was making the argument saying, yeah, but how do we reach these people unless you do that? And I said, look, I feel like there can still be positive content. There can be messaging that can reach these people. But he's got a point. Like, if you make a rage bait video, it'll get between 100 and 3 million views, 100,000 and 3 million views, right?
Wow.
You make a consistent video that's talking about the problems in the industry. Like, I've been making videos talking about flat rate, stuff like that. If I spin it to where it's positive for the technician, nobody watches it. But if I make it negative, they jump into the comments, they drive the algorithm, they make all these things happen. And I'm saying to them, guys, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. Oh, you believe in flat rate. No, that's the exact opposite of what I just said. You've just decided to be mad. This algorithm has fed you something that's made you madder and madder and madder.
Oh, it's so true. We did
and
a
you're
video
feeding into it.
For AutoFlow, we did a video. It's a guy at Chris's shop. We had him performing a digital inspection, doing a summary recap video. It's like, hi, I'm going to be doing your inspection on the car. And here's some of the things I noticed. It's about a 30-second little clip. It's a neat little strategy to try to get, the technician who's actually doing the inspection more known to the client. Wow, the engagement that our marketing team got on that post. They got some stuff blasted like, oh, that bump stop wasn't bad. Or our favorite commenter was actually, he misspelled his rage. He said, Bo better. Bo better is what he says instead of do better. So now it's like this internal quit.
and it's
Bo better, guys.
Like for us, there's a particular one that just causes so many problems. And it's what percentage should technicians be paid? And my messaging to them, and it makes them so mad. My messaging to them is it doesn't matter what the percentage is. What matters is what you take home, right? That's what's going to feed your family. And so the percentage is ego. The dollars is what matters. And so I'm saying the industry has to come up on its rates. Like we understand that we're doing things that are very complex. The modern automobile is different than it's ever been before. And so we have to charge more per hour because we have extremely skilled individuals working on these automobiles. Yeah. And so we want them to earn $100,000, $120,000 a year, whatever the number is. It doesn't matter what the number is. We want them to live a good life, and the cost of living's high. The complexity of working on the cars, the tools, the equipment, all of the things. We know that the rates have to go up. And all they can hear is me say, no, you can't pay over 30%. You can't pay over 40%. That doesn't work. The numbers don't work. I deserve 50. I deserve 60. Hold up now. Like, do you understand what you're saying? Do you understand that I'm sitting here saying, I want to give you $150,000 a year. It doesn't matter what the percentage is, but I deserve more.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Percentage of what? Percentages can be a very strange thing when they're the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They can get you in trouble. Like you can't pay your bills.
Yeah. I try to get people to do, minimum of 80% of the vehicles that come into the shop get a DVI. Like that's a minimum. It should be 100. And you can achieve that a variety of ways. You could just have very few cars come into the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
DVIs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can define DVI as you take a picture of the tag when you take it in.
There's that too. Yeah. The quality of that inspection, as you well know.
If you really want to throw them for a loop, Lucas, is just explain to them productivity and go, hey, if you just half your productivity, you will double your rate. There you go. Well, I'm now paying you 50, 60% of my labor rate because you're producing half the bills. But I can't pay the bills, but there's your 50, 60%. Hey, we're going to be installing. And like,
have you been looking at my payroll numbers?
I feel like this is a topic you guys do a lot where you actually are trying to help people understand some like financial elements, some actual business sense on this.
No. This is new because we've come to the realization that everybody is an idiot. Okay? And here's the thing, like Lucas is over here trying to explain
the pessimism. And that's
no, this isn't pessimistic. These are hard facts, okay? Hard facts. And I'm going to keep repeating it, Lucas, for forever until everybody can repeat it back to me. 54% of Americans cannot read past a 6th grade level. Now, these are the same idiots that are saying Bo better, and they want $100,000 plus a year. They can't read the service information, Craig. They can't read it.
Oh, man.
It's just, it might as well be Aramaic. They can't understand it. It's just a jumble of like characters on the screen. And they're like, hey, if you don't translate this alignment that also needs an ADAS calibration into a TikTok dance, I can't understand it. But I want $100,000 a year. And then we're like, okay, but let's make the math work here for the $100,000 a year. I can pay you $100,000 a year, but that top line has to be X, and then it has to be, these other numbers need to be Y, and then this will all math out. But the math will math. And then they're like, I just need $100,000 a year. It's like, you can't even read, dude. What are you talking about?
But here's the thing, is right. Like, what is your whole show about? It's about effective communication, right?
Yes.
And so much of what I've been talking about here lately is like, I get that you're frustrated. I get that you're aggravated, but it's your responsibility to be able to communicate clearly and effectively to your employer what you're frustrated about. And it can't just be, I'm mad, right? Like, no, I need data. You have to come to me with a reasonable argument so I can understand your position and I can do something about it. If you just come to me and say, I deserve more, okay, show me why, right? Like, have an argument to bring to the table.
effectively communicate their value. They can't do it. They just want more. I want just
do they even know
more.
what their value
No.
actually is?
No, they
Like,
don't.
I mean,
and they
I
don't
mean,
want to
literally,
learn
not
what
just
it
in a
is.
dollar value sense, but what is
Yeah.
it? Bob Greenwood, I talked about it on your episode too. First thing he did in that first management class I ever went to, wearing my technician hat. Well, it's actually a hoodie sweatshirt. At the time, I'm sitting there in the class. He says, "What's your job?" And I had the smart aleck answer.
Yeah.
I fix cars. And that's what we associate our value to in this industry. Still, I ask that question all the time in there. And Bob was ready for me. He was ready for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
He got right in my face and he said, "No, your job, your professional responsibility is to make sure the vehicle's safe, reliable, and efficient. That's the job." And he talked
100%.
about in those terms, dude, professional responsibility. We have karma. He's trying to elevate the language of this industry here. And the words matter, folks. And
They
our
do.
understanding and how
They
we
do.
articulate what we actually do for a client is far greater than
100%.
just fixing a car.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's so much bigger of a deal than that. And I wish the technicians and I
If
wish
they
the
felt
service
it
advisors
here
would
first
understand
in their
it.
heart, if they felt it in their heart first, the actual purpose behind what they do, that will equate to a greater understanding of the value that you actually offer to your community.
Do you know how many people I talk to and they say, I ask them, and you've heard this, and you've heard Rick White do it, you've heard Cecil do it, you've heard it in all these classes. Hey, what differentiates you from everybody else? I fix the car better than everybody else. You understand fixing the car is a base level of proficiency.
I fix Bo better.
Right. It's a base level of proficiency. And so it can't just be fixing the car. It's about more than that, right? And they just don't, I don't know why they don't grasp it.
Yeah, I feel like technicians, especially mechanical specialists, our technology specialists in the bays, are so motivated on the productivity metrics and the pay that they get as the expression of their worth.
Yeah, you're so
And
right.
it's the wrong incentive. In some cases, money is not even the incentive for other people entirely in this thing. Like getting more money, once your basic needs are met. I mean, your Hausler's hierarchy of needs. What do we got? We need shelter, we need food, we need clothing, all those basic needs. And once you have surpassed an income level where those aren't a struggle to get, well, it turns to other things. And eventually you arrive at contentment where you don't even have enough time to enjoy the things you might even be able to afford.
Yeah.
I'd love to get there, but
me too. But like I talk to these people about extrinsic and intrinsic motivators.
There you go.
Right. And I'm talking to the technicians and they're like, no, none of that matters. And I'm like, no, it really does. I'm saying the money is not the thing. The money is not what you're chasing. And they're like, it absolutely is the money. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. What you're chasing is what the money gets you. Right. And the problem is you can become so lost in that chase for something that you lose all perspective and sight of why you were chasing it in the first place.
Yeah, you just go shop to shop or whatever else happens then too.
100%.
It's interesting. So let me ask this, guys. You've been doing this podcast. You started, it was the Auto Shop Owners Group. ASOG was the name of the group. And you changed the name to Changing the Industry Podcast when you kind of, it split from like what was basically a Facebook group back then. Became a podcast. Yeah. And then you changed the name to this. And the mission is basically in the title of the podcast, Changing the Industry. Since you have begun now, what are we in now? Episode for you? What was the most recent one?
What was the last one, David?
200. We have
a little over 4 years, right?
No, 6 years. So
6 years because it went predated the name.
COVID.
Yeah.
We have over 350 episodes, and we have something like, I don't know, 400, 500 YouTube videos. There's a lot of content out there.
It's a lot of content. And so
officially though, the episode number is like 280.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, in that time frame though, Changing the Industry, you have observed changes. What is a change you have observed that you're very happy about seeing?
I think the shop owners are starting to wake up, right? And this is going to sound terrible. I'm somewhat happy about the technician shortage, if you will, because I think it's waking shop owners up to the fact, hey, listen, if you're a scumbag shop owner and you run a junkie operation and you're doing the unethical, the wrong things, it's much harder to find a good technician, right? And so we're seeing a shift that I believe ultimately will lead to a better industry because of this. It's shop owners coming to the table saying, hey, I've never had this much trouble finding a technician before. Okay, how are you treating people? What does it look like? How are you paying them? What kind of benefits are you offering? What's your quality standards? Right. And so I think that is forcing the industry in a better direction, to be completely honest with you. Mm-hmm. And so if there's one thing I could say about, hey, this is a change, we're seeing shop owners that never would have come to the table and never would have listened. And look, I don't mean to talk about addiction, but what do addicts do? They hit rock bottom. And when they hit rock bottom, they say, hey, I have to do something different. This doesn't work. And so we're seeing shop owners hit rock bottom who would have never listened to help before, never would have taken advice, knew everything, very arrogant, coming to the table saying, I'm wrong, help me figure this out. Right. And, the problem is with a lot of these people, there's a lot of pain associated with that too, because they weren't living the life they wanted to live either. And so this is seeing them improve their lives, and that in turn improves the circle of people around them, which improves other people. And so I think that your show, Carm's shows, all of these shows, just dropping little tidbits of knowledge here and there is truly changing the world, because it's making the lives of if it's one person a year.
What Carm always say early on with the Remarkable Results Radio, listen to learn one thing.
Yep, exactly.
I can do that.
Hey, that's it. Maybe all I can do, but I can do that.
Yeah. What about you, David?
I'm not as optimistic as Lucas.
I know. That's why I asked a positive question first. Don't worry. We're going to get to the other end.
I think everything's still a dumpster fire. But I will say this. One thing that drives me, we're at Vision, we're on the expo, and Lucas is off talking to somebody, because that's what he does. And I normally just follow behind him and stand behind him. He's much taller than me, so I stand and hide behind him. But I had this rando, and it was a guy from like Western Kansas, I think. I don't remember his name because I'm terrible with that. But nice guy, just walks up to me and says, hey, I just want to shake your hand, say thank you for the content that you're putting out, that the idea that we're not just here to make a profit, but to build a business, better the community, better the lives of our employees. Just that sentiment is a message that I'm really happy to hear. It affirms some of the things that I already do, helps me do other things better.
Sometimes you feel like you're shouting into the wind, but this time you heard an echo come back on something.
Just one guy. And it's guys like that we've helped. Yeah, maybe they were doing some things right. Maybe we helped them change their mind on some other things. Maybe they learned from our ample list of mistakes that have been able to make their businesses better, make their communities better, make a better shop environment for their employees. It's guys like Josiah Martin and guys like Chris Luoma that are trying to build something better than the shop owners from the past, because I've said it 1,000 times, everything that we did in before may have worked as far as profitability goes, but it brought us to this state of tech shortage. Everybody's upset. The vendors are all selling us cheap parts, and yada yada yada, and all the complaints that we have. That's what everything we've done to the last 50 plus years have brought us to. And it's these younger shop owners that are trying to take things into a slightly different direction, that we're trying to speak to. We're trying to be their voice and hopefully steer everything. And we may not see it for 20 years.
It's a long pattern. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, you mentioned a couple of things here. Actually, parts, like the quality of parts. That's something I keep hearing a lot about lately. But who demanded this? Because it's a demand. The cheap parts are a solution that's being demanded. Is it just because costs are rising and shops are beating up the parts vendors instead of charging the right amount?
I think that there is a division in the industry, and there is a faction of shops that believe in charging, they may even charge a premium price for those cheap parts, right? And there is a faction that says, however, I need to make money. And so if this helps me get a sale, if this helps me make the numbers work, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do this, right? Yeah. Now, there's another faction that says, hey, I'm going to use OE parts. I'm going to use high quality stuff. I'm not going to cheap out on this. If it means I have to have a little bit lower margin, if it means that I can offer my consumer a better product. And so right now it feels like, and because let's be real about it, those shops, Dutch has always said this. He said the transactional business model is extremely profitable. I'm not saying it doesn't make a buku of money. I'm saying it's not what's best for the consumer, and it's not what's best for the technician. It's not what's best for the industry in the long run. And see, that's what I think's missed. But see, because it is so profitable, they can build 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 stores. They can consume other stores. And so now that's the model.
Yeah.
The end result, though, listen, I get people frustrated with me because it's like, yeah, but why paint with a broad brush? Why not just let everybody run the shop the way they want to run the shop? And I agree with that. It's their business. They can do whatever they want with it. But I believe we have a personal responsibility to our industry that we all love. At least I hope they love it. It's not just about money, to leave it in a better condition. Like, I have this vision that one day my kid might want to own a shop. Okay, well, if my kid wants to own a shop, I want it to be better for him than when I came into it.
That's the idea. Now, we talked about a positive change, though. So you're talking now, let's talk about some of these challenges. What are some things that are changing that are not for the better? Because that happens in conjunction with anything that any of us are trying to elevate. There's always something fighting us, is what I feel like. And I feel like there's some trends coming up. You see them?
There are. And I think technician disinformation is one of the worst, right? Same way that we're seeing shop owners recognize there's a problem and we're going to fix this. We're seeing technicians who are unwilling to learn, and they say, it's not my responsibility to learn this because you're not paying me to learn this. I shouldn't have to put this effort in.
Like paid training. If it's not paid training, I'm not going type of an attitude.
Exactly. But I mean, not just paid training. It's like, hey, remember what we were talking about? What should your pay be? How can you communicate that effectively to your shop owner? This is your career. You need to take it as a professional. You need to make sure that you're educating yourself about how the industry works and the terminology, right? The acumen, the whole 9 yards about this industry. How do you bring that back to your employer and say, hey, I'm concerned about this? You're upset about the industry. You're mad because the industry does X, but you can't communicate it. You can't say it. And when you do say it, because you have such an attitude about it, nobody listens.
No one listens. That's the most common thing I hear is like, oh, they don't care. They don't listen. They don't care. They don't listen. And it's like sometimes the way that you are communicating will bring you right into that situation where all they're going to hear is your anger.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know me, I've always loved Toastmaster, right?
Yeah.
And I know all the things that you're doing and talking about communication, making all these things better. When you learn to communicate, one of the best things that I have found in that is the body language, right? When you're watching someone else communicate with you and you're communicating with them and they change and they shift. Think about being an advisor on the front counter and you say the thing that doesn't click. Do you keep going or do you stop and clarify? And so many of these people, they don't stop and clarify. If it doesn't click, they don't recognize it didn't click.
Or there's a flash of fear from the client and that gets interpreted as they look mad by the service advisor. And then you dig in and you start defending something that they were simply unsure of. And it can turn into a terrible, it's almost like a sitcom. There's always a misunderstanding. It's always a communication breakdown in any of the episodes. You ever go watch Seinfeld or any of these old ones, and it's like, it's always the same sort of thing. There's like this comical misunderstanding. We all get to be in on the observation of it happening, but we are all collectively terrible at recognizing when it's happening ourselves.
Exactly. And can we stop it? Right? Can we stop the conversation? Can we stop the degrading of the situation by learning to communicate better? Can we just stop and say, hold up, hey, I'm worried that maybe we missed this. Let's slow down and come back.
On that. That's sort of the whole premise of this show. And thanks for drawing that out here too. Is like, it's a hard thing to, first off, humble yourself and recognize, guys, I was the angry tech. I've been that guy. I think a lot of us have been that guy. And sometimes we forget to tell our stories about it. And now we start like talking about our values of how it should be done. And we forget to say, oh yeah, I was a hot mess at one point as well.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
and completely ineffective at trying to institute changes in the family business, not just because of the attitudes and egos, although that was a variable. I was one of the attitudes and egos.
Right. I was part of the problem.
Yes. And did the culture create my attitude and ego too? Well, partly, some of it age and a process. All like, at least for me, I've observed young men kind of go through a phase
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
And some of them stay there. But the culture that lets that be, man, that's the thing that we try to change. I hope. And changing culture has to happen. I believe has to happen top down. I think it's very rare that it happens from the middle up. I think the person in the middle just kind of gets squeezed out by the culture. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I think you're absolutely right. And
technicians aren't going to push the owner into being better. In many cases, they might leave, and that maybe thinks like, shoot, I should be better. But
Rick White told me one time the fish stinks from the head first. Stinks from the head down.
He's got good sayings.
He does. Look, here's the deal is it's Tim Kite. I always talk about him, and he talks about leadership a lot. And he's dead now. He passed away, I think, last year or year before. And there's one in particular video where he just drills into this. And he said, they will not exceed. If it's not happening in you, it won't happen through you. They're not going to exceed your capabilities, right? And so if the culture is not happening in you, if it's not the belief system, and people pick on David all the time, but David's shop has a phenomenal culture. It's freaking hilarious. It is so much fun to be around his shop and see those guys and hang out with them because it's picked up David's style, right? And I don't think we can define culture as in what it should look like or what it should be. But the reality is it's something that's focused on the best interest of the other people involved, or is it selfish? So he talks about ego, and he talks about big ego versus strong ego. And he says, okay, a strong ego is about them. A big ego is about you, a personal agenda. And so which are you going to have? And I think that the industry as a whole needs to look at having a strong ego that focuses in others, because then if you get that right, they focus in you. Right. And that's how we move things forward. Big ego just gets in the way, man.
I love this topic. I actually just did an episode, it was a few episodes ago, on is altruism real? So talking about actual altruism versus psychological egoism. And it gets a little bit deep. And I'm a layman on this subject. I'm not a psychologist or
don't tell me Matt Onslow was on.
No, I know. He would have been a great guest on that. Hard dude to nail down, right? Like He really is. He's so busy being a technician. But look, what do you guys think? Like the question I asked on this, like, is altruism real? Or do people only ever do things out of a self-interest?
I think there has to be a reward, right? I think we operate on a reward system personally. And I believe that if it's not at some point rewarding for you, you will eventually burn out and say, I'm not doing this anymore, right? So I believe there has to be a reward. That being said, just because there's a reward for you, just because you get something doesn't mean that it wasn't good for someone else.
Like,
and so
that the desire
collaboration.
Wasn't there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're tracking. David, what do you think?
The reward is in the doing.
That's true.
But I think you do need to work your way up to that.
So yeah, Lucas, you were hitting at this too. The rewards in the doing, as David said, but like the desire to have someone else be better, just because there is a reward doesn't mean your desire wasn't for them first. Yeah, exactly. And so the fact that a reward exists does not mean that it was self-interested. It was actually interested in the other party, right? And so like 100%. That's how I feel like the arguments
they're not mutually exclusive though.
Correct. That's exactly the point that was made. They are not mutually exclusive, which is why altruism does exist.
Yeah, 100%.
Was somebody arguing that it wasn't?
Yeah, there's actually quite a raging debate on that. I don't think it's like sensational enough to get a raging debate on social media about this.
That actual altruism doesn't
oh yeah, dude.
These people don't have children?
I know. Yeah, exactly. But they would argue that the mother would feel shame if she didn't rescue her kid from the fire, or the collective guilt of her community.
No, it's not even. It's
strange.
First off, that's idiotic, because like you can go live off in a farm by yourself, just your family.
Sure.
And what, you're going to abuse your kids? No, like the normal. I mean, those people are defective, mentally defective. The ones that like abuse their children, even psychologically abuse their children, or physically abuse their children, or neglect their children, or whatever. But typically, the normal parent has children. It's entirely altruistic. They give you nothing back in return. I mean, a smile or a hug, or I love you, daddy, or whatever. But that's it. That's what you get. That's your reward. I love you, daddy. You get a hug. You're like, this was all worth it. The hundreds of thousands of dollars I spent, the sleepless nights, the constant worrying, the constant like nagging, I gotta feed you, and you're like,
Yeah.
these people are entirely helpless for years.
Yep.
And they're an extension of you, like that. And so like you can't ever really be that mad. It's like, you're 50% me, so I'm just gonna blame all the deficiencies on your mother. That's what I'll do.
Do you have teenagers yet? Because what you described is different than.
He's getting close.
I have a teenager right now. She just turned a teenager. But even then, like at her absolute worst,
Totally.
I mean, it's still like you're still gonna give everything you possibly have of yourself to this person that will never reciprocate in any way, shape, or form. Like
they come back around.
Yeah, and your only hope is they're not going to stick me in an old folks home when I can't wipe my own ass.
I don't think that's going to happen in your case, David.
Yeah, I tell my kids all the time, it's like the only hope is that when I can't wipe my own ass, you can come do it for me. And they're like, I'm like, that's it. That's the only hope I've got. That's it. So the idea that there isn't altruism, it's like, dude, you must not have children, or if you do, you hate your kids.
Well, look, where I was going with this too is like here, the way I observe things, like, all right, you have the Changing the Industry podcast, you have a great following. People could make a mistake, I feel like, and look at what you guys do, and it's like, oh, a couple of egos over there. Who do they think they are? I'm sure you probably get some people that probably ask that question.
We've gotten that before. Yeah, we've gotten
100%.
that before. And here's the thing: they don't listen to the podcast.
Correct.
The entire podcast is just like, hey, blow for blow, this is every mistake we've made.
Yeah.
And then this is the new mistakes
Humility.
that we made.
Yeah.
And here's another week. Here's the new mistakes that we've made. That's the entire, like, that's it. That's what we share our mistakes so you don't make them.
No, I feel like a lot of what you guys are doing too is actually behind the scenes, the phone calls and the text with shop owners and the people that you're helping.
David does it too. He just doesn't want anybody to know because
I don't. Hey, I've done it a few times. I don't mince words. Like, hey, I can fix this in like 3 steps for you.
Hey,
really? Like, yeah, but you're not going to do it. That's the problem. They don't do it.
I always feel like someone has to be the tough love guy in those scenarios. Sometimes, let's call it mentoring or coaching. What you're doing requires candid truth.
Absolutely.
Just tell them like it is. It doesn't have to be mean to be candid.
David just enjoys it that way.
But
it's
it
perceived
feels
as
mean
mean
to some people.
Yeah, it's perceived as mean, but it's not.
Correct.
It's like,
that's because
I'm
people
actually trying to help you.
Feedback.
I'm not going to get anything out of this.
Yeah.
That's it. And here's how you do it. That's it. It's you take it or leave it. You know, I don't have to.
I'm usually nice the first 2 passes. By the 3rd pass, if you're not listening, I'm stepping it up. I'm taking it to another level.
Yeah. Well, because at some point, someone's going to be wasting your time, and that'll happen. And that is something you do have to protect so you can be there for the people in your lives and your communities that are right in front of you. If you start being everything to all people, at the level of people that'll want to reach out to you guys, unsustainable to have a life and a wife.
Hey, listen, it caused problems. Right. Because for a long time, I was committed to answering every single message I got. And I'd get 150, 200 messages a week, and I'd answer every single one of them. And I would try my best to communicate with these people and help them through it. And I learned that some people, I think some of the best advice I was ever given, there was a time when I was helping Rick with coaching. And he came to me, put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, let me tell you something. Some people are in love with their problems, and you won't ever change those people. And he said, until they fall out of love with their problems, because their problems are their identity, until they're willing to let go of that identity, this is not going to change. And so that was big for me, right? And so I had to start looking at some of these people saying, look, you want to talk about your problems. You don't want to talk about the solutions. I'm done.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard, but it's a service, and you guys are performing it, sometimes with no benefit directly to you.
That's it.
Hey, the benefit's the better industry that we all get to live in. And is that self-serving to an end? Yeah. Whether we live to see that.
We can buy from our sponsors too.
That helps too. Helps. I'll be honest. Like, I think I've kind of found myself in this place in life where, like, if everything I do has to be for a reward, if everything I do has to be some return that I'm going to get, that's just kind of meh to me. Right. Yep. Like, I like seeing people happy. I like seeing people thrive. Listen, dude, my family, my dad, do you know how many millions of dollars the man gave away that we could have lived an amazing life with just to help people? I mean, buying people cars, buying people like houses. Giving things away just to give, and you ask him like, hey, why are you doing this? I just want to help people. Like that's where his reward came from. Seeing them do better was more important to him than him doing better. And so like, I get that there's got to be a reward somewhere, but I think when we let that go and we don't put so much emphasis on the us in the scenario,
in it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a lot easier to find happiness all of a sudden.
I hear you, dude. Yeah. And you can only do that from a position of security, like wonderful sponsors helping to make this show possible. Yep. And as you guys know in that realm as well, like once you start putting out value for others join you so that you can continue that mission. It's missional purpose that a group of people come together around, and then it becomes mutually supportive, reciprocal.
Yep. 100%. 100%, sir. You nailed it.
Man. Yeah.
You have to work really hard to get that come back all the way around.
Walk. But you like to walk now too, right? You still rucking, David? Still rucking?
I go hiking when I need to. Otherwise, I just stick to lifting.
Yeah. He saw that rattlesnake that time and he was like, I don't know.
Whatever I was going to, I said, can I go pet that dog? Can I go?
Yeah, he said, "Is that one? That's not a real one. You can boop it in its snoot." And I said, "I am not booping that in its snoot. It is rattling at me. I just stepped on it."
I'm like, "Let's go boop it in the snoot." He's like, "No."
Where were you when you saw us? I still
Colorado.
It was Colorado, huh?
Yeah, we were in like right outside of Red Rock or somewhere, weren't we?
I don't know, dude. There's so many mountains, there's hiking trails out there.
All right, guys. Someday we're gonna take a group of shop owners that need to get out of the shop and out of their own heads. We're taking them on a trail. Boop something in the snoot.
I'm down. I'm not moving it. You can move it in its snoot if you want to. Okay, that's all you, brother. Listen, I am completely fine with you booping. I'll send you the video and you tell me if you'd boop this thing in its snoot.
Seriously though, I was on a trail. Someone says, "Yeah, watch out. There's a rattlesnake up there." I went over there. I tried to find the thing because I've never seen one, but. Maybe not.
Oh, you'll hear it. You'll hear it before you see it.
That's what they say. I think they're mythical.
They're it's really difficult to identify because they're in the grass and all that stuff. They're the same color as the grass. You can hear the rattle, and then if you kind of look, you're like, "Oh, there it is. It's all coiled up and staring at me."
Yeah. Listen, I just like rattlesnakes don't bother me nearly as much. They will not chase you. Copperheads will chase you, and I don't like being chased by copperheads. Those suck.
Interesting. Where are those?
You've never seen a copperhead?
Never seen one of them either. Mythical.
No, listen, and the baby copperheads are more venomous than the full-grown copperheads.
Oh, that's not
They're
fair.
all over the place here, and so you just like those are really nasty ones. They're worse than a rattlesnake.
They can bite you through a boot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
after you boot in the snoot.
Problem, Craig, is that you don't watch enough Lost in Appalachia, whatever.
You're right. I don't.
YouTube.
Yeah. And I live in Michigan where nothing tries to kill us, like nothing.
No, you think that. I'll find you some videos. Lost in some woods out in Michigan. These people go out and they either die from the elements or they get bitten by something and then they die or get eaten by a bear or whatever. They disappear is what my point is. They never show back.
They just never come back.
They never come back. Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking when that's going to happen to David, and I just keep defending him. I'm not sure why. I'll just be honest.
Maybe get donations to your next hike.
Yes.
Yeah. Want David to get bit by a snake?
That's it. We can make that happen. Publicize it. Put it on video.
Go to REI after that. I don't know. Well, guys, thanks so much for doing this today. Sir. Any final comments you want to make? Missions you're working on right now? Something coming up next you want people to be aware of?
Man, I want people to slow down and learn to communicate and focus on communicating with one another, right? Especially in this realm that we're in, because there's not a lot of that happening, especially in shops. And it's real easy for a shop owner to get up here and talk about how great they are, how wonderful they are, and all the amazing things they're doing. But we keep talking to their staff, and their staff doesn't feel the same way. And so that takes real vulnerable communication, and it takes being open. And the most important part of that is being willing to listen to somebody saying something that you may not want to hear. And so I just want to encourage shop owners to go to their teams and ask the questions that are hard and give them the space, the freedom.
They got to do that one-on-one. And if they're doing it in a group setting, ain't nobody speaking up.
Yeah. The Dukes come up. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Learn how to read.
And learn how to read. Is that your remark, David?
Yeah, you can't communicate if you don't know how to read. Learn how to read.
All right, let me ask this. So as quick as we can here, because I know you guys got to go. Reading seems to be in decline. I ask people a lot of times, what are they reading lately? And and like they don't read books. They don't even listen to books sometimes. I'm happy if they at least listen.
Now Audible, I think, was the one that put the study out, or maybe it was audiobooks or whatever. But apparently, the same spot in the brain that fires up whenever you sit down and read something also fires up if you're listening to an audiobook. It's supposed to work the same. So
hey,
I listen to the books because Or if you're going to read, chew gum while you're reading. Otherwise, you will get through 17 pages and go, did I just read? What the hell was I reading? Because your brain's often, that's me. My brain's often la la land. I'm sitting there reading, but I'm not even paying attention to the words. I get through the words and then I got to remember. Yeah.
Any book recommendations you have for our audience?
I mean, all of the basics, right? Like it's the same ones that get rattled off every time.
If you want to fix 99% of the issues that we just kind of covered here in this last hour of this podcast, 7 Habits.
Yeah,
7 Habits.
Absolutely.
7 Habits. Everything we talked about can be covered and fixed by the 7 Habits.
Yep. So true. So true.
That's a dense book, though. That's not an easy read. You got to work your way up. Like, let's start with what's
The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
They are really beautiful pictures.
The very hungry caterpillar, and then let's move up to something like the Berenstain Bears. That's a good series of books.
Maybe the E-Myth eventually.
We'll eventually get to like something like the E-Myth. Yeah, a Dave Ramsey book. Like, listen, I'm a big Dave Ramsey. Like listening to him and yell at the people. That's always fun.
Yeah,
but his books.
See how you like him.
His books are awful. They are written for a 6th grader. And they are rough to read because you're just like, I just need a little eloquence in the writing, just a little bit. No, it's word vomit. So read a Dave Ramsey book just to get your feet wet.
Got a lot of content out there too. If you're a listener, I was listening to a couple of his speeches lately. Chris gets us access to the Entree Leadership Summit each year, the virtual summit. It's really great. Good leadership.
That is
lessons.
one of the worst books I've ever read.
It's funny.
And it's not the content. The content's great.
Yep.
He's just you can tell he didn't get a ghostwriter.
That's it.
Like you can tell. Like, dude, you need to hire a ghostwriter. Somebody that clean this up.
It's maybe he wrote it like he was doing his radio show or something.
Yeah, no, he sits down and he's like, I'm gonna talk into the page.
When are you guys gonna co-author a book?
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Lucas writes books all the time. He just AI generates all of them and pass it on Facebook.
Whole nother topic.
And I'm like,
boys, I got a lunch I gotta get to.
You gotta get to it, man. Hey, Lucas, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me and reciprocating this. David, you
absolutely,
two brothers. Look forward to seeing you at the next one, guys.
All right. See you guys. Y'all be good.
Soon. All right. That was a wonderful time talking to some of my friends. What a great industry. I really just want to take a moment and once again thank David and Lucas for taking the time out of their very busy schedules to help me record this episode. And thank you so much to our sponsors who make this show possible. As always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like to see covered, reach out to us here on the show. You can reach me at speakup@craigoneal.net. And remember, listen to the app, the Automotive Repair Podcast Network app. That is where you can find all sorts of episodes on all the topics like we're discussing today. We have Remarkable Results Radio with Carm Capriato, Diagnosing the Aftermarket A through Z with Matt Fonslow, Business by the Numbers with Hunt Demarest, the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast with Brian and Kim Walker, and the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton. Once again, to all of our sponsors, AutoFlow, Call Inbound, Shop Dog Marketing, and ServiceAdvisorTraining.com. Thank you for allowing us to get to this point, and thank you to all of our sponsors in the past as well, and our loyal listeners who, thanks to your support, we can keep doing this. Get out there, listen up, speak up, and serve others.
You've been listening to Speak Up, Effective Communication with Craig O'Neill on the Automotive Repair Podcast Network. Download our exclusive podcast app at automotiverepairpodcastnetwork.com because the best conversations in the industry start here. Check the show notes for Craig's YouTube channel and email. Let him know what topics you'd like him to speak up about.